Today's choice for us is Govinda Dasu's Broccoli Koora in South Indian style. Here are the things that are needed for that. We of course need broccoli. That's Broccoli Koora. This is aloo and broccoli, so I picked some red potatoes. And what makes it South Indian? Well, what makes it South Indian are these two spices. In the grand old tradition, you probably saw Mindy Kaling's thing. We put spices in some irrelevant containers, like in this case it's in a Smucker's peanut butter jar, and these are the cumin seeds, and these are the mustard seeds. I usually put it directly in there so we don't spill everywhere. So in South Indian curries we always use whole spices, so that helps. Those are the two ingredients, but other magic spice is this asafoetida powder from a famous company called LG, and of course a little bit of turmeric. Turmeric in this case will preserve the green color of the broccoli, so which we want to keep. And fresh spices, we have a piece of ginger and 2 green chilies. So, well, broccoli is not very South Indian. I've never heard of broccoli before. The only broccoli I knew is, coming from India, the only broccoli I knew was James Bond filmmaker broccoli. I didn't even know that it was a vegetable. But here we are, we're making a South Indian style broccoli curry. So let's get started. First we need to remove all these little things, wash up the vegetable and chop it up. So that's what we'll do next. Okay, here are the potatoes peeled and a piece of ginger peeled. Take off the little things from there. And we'll chop these vegetables out. The idea of the broccoli stir fry, South Indian style, is to do that fairly quickly. So we'll try to do it as efficiently as possible. So we've got all the ingredients here. Now I brought out the Luana peanut oil as well. So that's what we're going to use to do the stir fry. Green chilies chopped up. Next we're going to do the ginger, which needs to be also chopped fine. Okay, good. I didn't cut my finger yet. Now, I'll tell you something about the potatoes and how they should be cut. So a friend of mine from Orissa was the one who introduced me to broccoli. And he told me we should cut potatoes fine. And there's a reason for that. Yeah, we're going to fry it in the oil. But he wants it to be crisp. He actually made even broccoli crisp, but I adapted it to more South Indian style and more healthier style. So you won't make it super crisp there, but the potatoes should be crisp. So we'll cut it thin like this, and then we're going to cut it again like this. So they're like little thin fingers that you would get for. So we'll cut them all in this size. Okay. Let me show you the other things that we need to do. What we're going to do in order to speed things up is to cut off the broccoli edges like so. Okay, we'll deal with how to make these things smaller later, but for the moment I'll cut it up like this because we're going to be frugal, and also it's good for taste and health here if we use this part of broccoli in our meal. So in addition to that, what we're going to do is chop up this part of broccoli thinly, and sometimes it helps to cut like this a little bit, and we chop it up fine. So this part can be fine because we're going to stir fry this. Okay, there we go. The vegetables are all ready for Govinda Dasu's broccoli stir fry South Indian style to get going. Alright, let's start with it. We'll put oil in the pan. So let's make sure that the pan is totally dry. Put some oil. Let's put the heat at 7 out of 10. And put some oil. About that much. That's about 1.5 tablespoons or so. Now the oil will heat up. In the meantime, we'll take this cumin and spread it on it. And we'll also put the mustard seeds. So the cumin and mustard seeds are in. And the asafoetida, let's sprinkle some. So that's asafoetida. Family likes asafoetida. If you don't like the smell, use less of it or none of it, that will be fine. But this is what makes things more South Indian style. So this being an electric stove, it takes a little bit of time to get going, but we'll wait for that to warm up and the mustard seeds will start splitting in a few minutes. All right, while waiting for that, I can tell you a little bit about my friend from Orissa. He loved broccoli, so much so that we were students together. We would make broccoli at least 2 to 3 times a week. His girlfriend was in New York and we were in upstate New York in Rochester. We used to joke that Prashant is going to New York, he's going to buy some broccoli to present his girlfriend, because he didn't know that he should take regular flowers, he would take the broccoli flower to his girlfriend. But anyway, he loved broccoli so much, so this recipe comes because of that. I adapted it a little bit to be South Indian style, which Govinda Dasu started loving. All right, looks like this is starting to split. All right, so it's split, so it's ready to go. So we'll start putting green chilies and ginger first, along with the potatoes. There you go. Now, with potatoes, it's always a good idea to use these tricks like gravity to move things around so you don't press them too much, especially once they start to cook. But we do want them to cook also, so let's cover it up for just a little bit. And we'll take it out, I would say 2 minutes for it to soften a little bit. And then we'll put this part of broccoli first, because this needs to cook more. This is ready to go. Now's the time to put a little pinch of salt so that this softens properly. So let's do that. There's the salt here. So I'll put a little bit of salt now, and I'll put the same amount later. So this is about half a spoon of salt, a little less than half a spoon of salt. Mix it up. Again, it has to soften for about 2 minutes or so. All right, I think it's getting time to put the bulk of broccoli in there. There we go. Let's mix it once to make sure that it's nice and crisp there. All right. It's quite okay. So you can see the light brown shade on the fried potatoes. Now we put this. Let's keep the big ones aside. See? I may prefer something a little bit more crispy, but like soft. So let's do that. In order to make it soft, we want broccoli to be not too big in pieces. So we'll just cut it up like this. And now comes the important ingredient. More salt. We need more salt. Remember, I only put half a spoon, like quarter spoon maybe, and now I put half a spoon. Don't want to overdo it, because salt can make things really bad if it is excess. So that's that. And this is another important ingredient. The advantage of putting turmeric is that it retains the color of the vegetable. We want broccoli to look green, right? So that's what we do. So we mix it up carefully. Let's go in. You want to get the potatoes on top and broccoli to go at the bottom. We'll do it that way. And you can see that because of the turmeric, the broccoli gets nice and green in color. A gigantic one here, so you can still not too hot, so you can split it up. And let it stand for about 3 minutes. Let us see how far Govinda Dasu's Broccoli Koora South Indian style got to. I think it's not quite there yet, but we do need to mix it 2 or 3 times. So this is the first time I'm mixing it. So let's just mix it. As you can see, all the broccoli is wet now with steam that is coming out of it. Remember, we had a little bit of water when we put the broccoli in. So let's close it again and keep it on for another 2 minutes. Govinda Dasu's Broccoli Koora South Indian style is getting almost ready. This is the second time we're mixing. You can see that it's trying to stick to the bottom. Don't want it to stick too much to the bottom, so we'll be careful. And we don't want the potatoes to become paste, so we want to mix it in such a way with the back of the thing like this and lifting the pan a little bit so that it falls over. I think one more attempt, maybe another 2 minutes, will make the potato crispy and the broccoli soft and cooked. And we'll be ready to eat. In the meantime, let's go set the table. All right, looks like Govinda Dasu's South Indian style Broccoli Koora is ready. There it is. Teeny bit of brownishness for the fry. And I think that we're ready to serve. Let's go for it. Here we go. Govinda Dasu's Broccoli Koora South Indian style.